Hi guys, I am popping on as I am sometimes want to do. I had my hair done and I hate to waste a decent hair day because there are so few of them. Anyway, let's hope this goes well because nobody else in the house knows I'm doing this. So people could come in, dogs could come in, anything could happen. Let's do. But I wanted to share a bedtime story, something I've been writing lately. It's a book called Stealing Summer and it's in my Thieves series. This particular part of the book is, there are 3 POVs in this one. It's the first time I've done it in a Thieves book. It's usually 1 POV. This particular one is Kelsey, and I'm very happy I have Kelsey around for this book because the rest of it's very dramatic and Kelsey handles things differently than the others do. So, it's Kelsey. Just to warn you, Kelsey cusses a lot. All right. So, here we go. This is Stealing Summer. It's coming out December. Don't exactly have a date yet, but it'll probably be around December, the first or second week of December. All right. I could feel myself being pulled into that void. I couldn't stop it. Wait, no, this is not the part where I was starting. Hold on. See, this is how prepared I am. Aha! I found it. Don't you love? I'm very professional. Okay. I nodded and let him help me up. When he pulled me into a hug, I went gratefully. I breathed him in because Marcus might not be my lover anymore, but he was still safety and comfort to me. He was still my dearest friend, and I wouldn't be alive without his good counsel. I found you, I whispered. I felt him chuckle. And luckily, you knew how to get my attention. How long have you been here? I did not see you fall. Devonshire and I have tried to stay close to the doorway. The painting opened. I stepped back and looked to Dev. I fell into the field a couple of minutes ago, so apparently the doorway shifts around. That sucks. Your wife is scared as hell, Your Grace. Dev frowned, his eyes back to normal. It looked like my wife was here. Who was that? I shrugged. I was hoping to get all that information as soon as I kicked some butt. We didn't really have time to chat. I hit the ground, and then there was a small army after us. Her, really? I'm surprised she ran. This is a trick. Deb put his hands on his hips and stared out into the forest. Didn't Grayson say something about a trick and a trap in one of his prophecies? Sending some creature who can turn into my wife is definitely a trick. But I don't intend to be trapped here. I want to know what's going on. If she's the reason we're here, she can be the reason we get home. I didn't think she was bad. She tried to protect me. When she'd first had the chance to run, she hadn't taken it. It had only been after Marcus and Dev showed up that she seemed to get really scared, though I wasn't sure about what had happened since I'd been fighting at the time. I think the painting itself was the trick and the trap. My shoulder ached. I healed quickly, but not as fast as I used to since I wasn't on vampire blood. When Marcus and I had gone our separate ways, I refused to take the king's blood that was offered to me. The problem with the king's blood was taking it comes with an oath that also allows the king to forcibly call the oath taker. My uncle was a prime example. I could take the blood to heal and not be affected, but taking it on a weekly basis would likely allow Donovan too much control over me. It wasn't that I didn't trust the guy, but I prefer to be fully free-willed. And that meant when I took an arrow to the shoulder, it hurt like hell for way longer than I would prefer. No. It's too coincidental that we arrive here and a clone of my wife is waiting for me. And now she's managed to get us involved in something dangerous, Deb said. Well, I agree that this is dangerous. Marcus had taken off his jacket and was rolling up his sleeve. Come, Kelsey. I know you are a married woman, but I also know your husbands wouldn't want you in pain. We need you at your best if we're going to make our way back home. He was right on both counts. When he bit into his wrist and offered it to me, I didn't hesitate. There was nothing at all sexual about it now. No, not one bit. I wasn't going to think about how we used to end these sessions with Marcus throwing me down and doing all sorts of dirty stuff to me. Okay, it was completely awkward, and the minute I could feel the hold in my shoulder starting to heal, I let go of his vein. Deb was staring at both of us. Don't feel bad about it, Kelsey. If we're here long enough, I might have to take his vein. Now that will be truly discomforting. We're on a foreign plane. His blood is one of our major resources. Marcus frowned his way as he rebuttoned his dress shirt. And to think, I wanted to be loved from my mind. Devonshire is right, however. We have to find a way back. We need to talk to the young woman who is wearing the queen's face. She's the key. Yes, I want to know more about her, Dev said, his voice going low and a little on the predatory side. She resisted my suggestions, Marcus admitted. I was able to get inside her head, but it had no effect on her. I know she heard me, but all I felt was her fear. I did not sense ill will toward any of us. Dev nodded as though Marcus had confirmed his worst suspicions. And what human or fae can resist your persuasion? She's some kind of shapeshifter or a witch. I've heard there are hags who can take on different faces. She took on the wrong face. I won't allow anyone to use my goddess against me. I think we should figure out what we're dealing with first. The guy seems super excited to go after the pseudo Zoe. It was time for me to be the voice of reason. We had a couple of handy prisoners who might be able to give us a hint where we were and how to survive. Can we ask the soldiers a couple of questions first? I can find our friend. She's got a very distinctive scent. She smells like sunshine and honey. Marcus was staring off into the forest the way Summer had run. I'm beginning to believe Devonshire. She might be the trap, but I believe she's a trap for me. I'm going after her. You two stay and talk to the soldiers. I'll bring her back, and we'll figure out what's happening. Marcus stalked into the forest. He'd left his jacket behind, and he seemed far more primal than the elegant man I'd gotten to know. There was a light in his eyes that wasn't about joy. It was all about the hunt. I didn't like the idea of Marcus going off on his own. I started to open my mouth to stop him, but Dev put a hand on my arm. Let him, Dev said, his voice low. He needs this. I watched Marcus take off into the woods. Needs what? Needs to run around a fairy forest? They can be super dangerous. He needs to feel like he's in control of something, Dev explained. He walked back to where our prisoners were still wrapped in their green prisons. You weren't the only one who felt the pull of that exchange, but you are the only one who gets to return to two lovers who will take care of you. Marcus is alone. My heart hurt when I thought of him being alone. I know how much he hated it. He was almost 2,000 years old, and he's never met his soul's mate. He'd had companions over the years, but no one who matched his soul, including me. All right. As far as I could see, she didn't have any supernatural power. She seemed to be holding her own with the sword, though. I would bet she's been well trained. Marcus can handle her. Dev stood over the first soldier and frowned. I'm happy you didn't kill each other. I'm afraid that's what I kind of thought when I realized the two of you were gone. Dev held a hand over the cocoon he'd wrapped his prisoner in and started to retreat. I don't hate Marcus. I simply don't get along with him the way Daniel and Zoe do. There are many people who think their world would be better had Marcus formed the third trip to our triangle. If I'd been drinking something, I would have coughed it all up. That's ridiculous. Marcus wouldn't take care of the king the way you do. Yes, I believe that's the point. Dev's shoulders slumped as he stared down at the soldier he'd caught. He's dead. I'm going to suspect the other one is as well. It looks like a spell of some kind. I don't want to be in this man's army. Sure enough, the second soldier was dead too. He had some kind of symbol branded on his cheek that likely had been a spell to ensure that soldiers couldn't be taken captive. So this Summer chick is our only lead. I better hope Marcus could find her. Dev had gone pale. Did you say Summer? Her name was Summer? Yes, that's what she told me. I groaned. Sometimes it takes me a while to put shit together. Summer is almost here. Gray was talking about this chick, not the season. That's pretty shitty. Prophecy is already hard as it is. Who would have thought it would be awesome to give a girl a name that could be confused with a season? Dev seemed to come to life. Daniel. Daniel gave her that name. Oh, goddess, I can't let her get away. He turned and ran into the forest. I sighed and started to follow. It looked like it was going to be a long day. It is a long day. It's a really, really, really long day for all of them. And for me, since I'm 100,000 K into this book, and we're still on the first day, but it's packed full of goodness. So that's Stealing Summer. Hi to everyone. And I hope you enjoyed your bedtime story, even though here in the States, it's nowhere near bedtime, so maybe that's for the Brits. Night, guys.